going to be making a dairy-free chocolate cream pie. So the things you will need for this, 3 tablespoons unsweetened cocoa, a third a cup of flour, a cup of sugar, 3 egg yolks, 2 cups of soy milk, 2 tablespoons of margarine, a teaspoon of vanilla, and I'll say this again later, but we mean real vanilla for this. Imitation vanilla has a compound that makes pies not set. So the real vanilla is important. Let's see here. We get a pre-made pie crust because that's easy. And then also we use a bit of arrowroot to help this thicken up. So, first things first. The 1/3 cup of flour. And the 3 tablespoons of cocoa powder go into a pot. That was a little bit more than a tablespoon. That's okay. It'll just be ever so slightly extra chocolatey.
Yeah, cocoa powder doesn't shake off the thing nearly as easily.
No, it most certainly does not. So step 1 is to mix that together real good. Then we add in half a cup of the soy milk. And for this, we are using Pacific Ultra Soy brand, which works surprisingly well for making pies.
Things that need to set, rather.
Yeah.
Because it's extra creamy compared to the other things that we tend to have.
See, this is why Jessie helps me out with these things. She's got so much better vocabulary for explaining these. Then you mix it together. It's going to form a bit of a paste.
Remember to knock out the middle of the spatula. And remember to get the corners.
Yep, corners are important.
As people go, but it's a round pot.
Yeah.
There are no corners.
Mhm.
There are.
Okay. Let's see here. Next, we blend in the sugar and the beaten egg yolks. So
You need 2 bowls since you have to beat them.
that is a good point.
Fork.
What? I can't just beat them with my bare hands.
No.
Ah, that's almost right. That's okay.
Just an FYI, dish in-sink garbage disposals actually get cleaned when you run eggshells through them, so the fact that he's tossing the eggshells into the sink is not a bad thing, even though it might appear so.
A while since I've made a pie. It's been a while since I've had to separate eggs.
But you still are good at it.
Still great at it. It's one of those skills that apparently doesn't go away.
Nope.
That's a pretty bird outside. Thank you. To set that aside, I am going to use the egg whites to make a nice omelet for myself later. Okay. I need the the 1 cup measuring cup, please. One cup of sugar. We actually generally
Don't use a full cup.
don't use a full cup.
We do like 3/4 in all of our baking just because, you know, that's better for you.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
Can we take that back from me. Here's the lid. Yes, to show. There's, a little bit of space at the top. Sugar goes in. That is still clean. Yep. Eggs go in. This may take a moment to go in.
Yeah, egg yolks are sticky. That's why they're in this recipe.
Mm-hmm. That's good enough. Then we mix these things together. And then we add the rest of the milk. Okay. 1.5 cups more soy milk.
Which, for anybody who might not know and is new to the whole soy milk thing, you really need to shake up your milk alternative carton very well before you use it for anything, because it does settle out.
Okay, this one doesn't have a good seal.
Well, then give it here. I'll put it in a mason jar.
Ah, good call.
That's why we have a boatload of
That's
mason
why
jars.
we have a boatload of mason jars. Milk goes in. Did you happen to just wash off the tablespoon, by the way?
No, but I can.
Okay. Since I will need it for the margarine. I had forgotten about that.
Oh yeah, this has a really wonky seal. I've got the thing upside down and it's barely pouring.
Yeah, it's... It's not great. That's soy milk here. Okay, so this
Soy milk
is...
itself is fine.
Soy milk itself is fine. Okay, so that is all good. Now, cook over low heat. There we go. So, medium-low is also fine, but what's important here is that you stir pretty much constantly.
No letting it burn.
Yep. Because if you stop stirring,
Chocolate cream pie is dead.
if you stop stirring, it definitely will burn.
It is a very high sugar content. It will burn very quickly.
Yes. So I'll have you grab the margarine out, by the way.
Yep.
You're going to help me add the margarine and the vanilla. And we'll see how this thickens up on its own. With other brands of soy milk, we generally add arrowroot powder. But if I remember correctly, last time we did this, it didn't really need it. Maybe do the tablespoon still anyways.
Or do half, depending on how thick it is at that
Mhm.
stage.
So for the person that just joined, we are actually making a chocolate cream pie, dairy-free. And we are at the step where I just keep on stirring while it slowly heats up and thickens. Since if I stop stirring, it will burn on the bottom. I am probably going to bump up the heat just a little bit towards medium. Oh. Good job. And that's why we're a team. Jessie is generally much better at the baking process.
Not that this is really considered baking.
No.
It's more cooking since it's stovetop. Baking is one of those things where you put a bunch of stuff together and put it in the oven and hope it comes out. And one of those things that you can't really fiddle with proportions and numbers. You actually have to do what it says.
Cooking is a lot more
In
forgiving.
Yes, forgiving. Good word. Baking is a precision task.
Yes.
You don't have to stir that violently. You just have to keep it moving.
So it's been a while. I'm also used to using the other whisk.
Yeah, see with this whisk, that's why the Cacto whisk is nice.
Do you want to take over for a second?
You literally just have to do this. And it's moving.
Oh,
It's a
maybe.
much smaller motion.
This is a soothing motion.
Bella's back there watching me stir.
Hi, Bella. Bella is our cat. For anyone who might not know. And she is definitely intrigued by the sound of the whisk.
How much margarine do we need?
2 tablespoons of margarine. And a teaspoon of arrowroot is what we'll use.
Does it call for a teaspoon?
It doesn't call for any arrowroot on the recipe.
So you're talking about vanilla.
A teaspoon of vanilla,
There you go.
but also a teaspoon of arrowroot. I
Yeah.
was requesting.
Okay.
The margarine and the vanilla go in at the very end, after it has thickened up.
And again, pure vanilla.
Yes.
Not imitation vanilla. Yes. I know it's like 3 or 4 times more expensive, but you do need pure vanilla for things that
Need to
require
set.
setting.
So, imitation vanilla has a,
An alcohol compound?
no, it's a, if you go grab it for me, I can, so,
Oh, the box. of
yeah, grab the
imitation
box
vanilla.
of imitation vanilla.
Water, propylene glycol.
Propylene glycol, that's the stuff.
That's an alcohol compound.
It is, but that is specifically an alcohol compound that prevents it from setting,
Yes.
which, by adding that to a pie, prevents your pie from setting.
Propylene glycol is also not a good thing in cosmetics and things you put on your face and body and stuff like that.
Yes. Many people have an intolerance to it.
Yep.
Okay, could you actually grab the arrowroot tablespoon?
Is it not setting?
I'm feeling lazy as well.
Well, has it started setting? It has to start setting before you can finish it with the arrowroot.
Then not yet.
Slightly. Yeah, it's got to get just smudge thick before we can force it.
It's starting to get there, actually. It will get there. Actually, give it another minute or two. It's going to very rapidly set. It's kind of a funny thing about making a chocolate pie, chocolate cream pie. It goes from being completely a liquid to being fairly setting, like, over the course of a very sudden minute.
Well, don't we have to add the margarine and vanilla?
After it sets. Or, well, it's still on the heat, but after it.
Oh, okay. You
Thickens.
just want to use the arrowroot to force the thickness.
Yes.
Okay.
To bump up the time frame on it, thickening a little bit.
Plus, it makes for a pie that you can actually cut into slices. And
Yeah.
Slices stay as slices instead of slow puddles.
Which tends to happen with chocolate cream pie that you make without
Could you
real,
should now put it in.
without real dairy.
They don't set nearly as well, which is why we've got the lovely arrowroot to assist.
Yep.
Theoretically, you could do, cornstarch and other thickening agents, but we like arrowroot.
And this has just gotten significantly thicker.
Mm-hmm.
Even right before she put the arrowroot in, it was thickening up.
We'll have to. Here. Yes. I need the arrowroot pieces to not be pieces.
Okay.
You get the other stuff.
Okay. That's 2 tablespoons of margarine that are going in. And then a teaspoon of real vanilla. Jesse is showing that eye who's boss.
Well, I'm trying to get the margarine to melt. The chunks are just kind of moving around, going, "Oh, I'm going to melt the outer edges of my formation, and now you get the rest of it."
So you can turn off the heat. Okay, you can
Drop it in the corner.
you
Pour
can,
it in?
Yep, you can pour it in. So, do you want the scrapey thing?
No, this one works quite well.
Okay. Scrapey thing has a name.
Spatula.
Spatula.
There are, granted, lots of types of spatulas, but yes, the scrapey thing is a spatula.
It's been a long day. There we go. Now, we recommend letting that sit for a little bit
At room temperature.
at room temperature until it's not steaming quite so much. And
Well,
then
until it's not steaming at all. We generally don't have enough patience to let it completely stop steaming. But you really don't want to put something warm into your fridge. It's not good for your fridge.
it is also best to clean off the lid that came with the pie crust. If you are using a pre-made pie crust, clean that off real thorough and then put it on top after it has cooled off a little bit. But yeah, in a couple of hours, this thing is going to be absolutely delicious.
Yep.
So hope you enjoyed following along, and yeah, well, maybe we'll see you next time.